Well, I've been fortunate to have followed in the footsteps of some great leaders that have led the organization, folks like Shan Cooper, who was my predecessor, and she really set us off on a great path for being bolder, being even more innovative than the organization had been in the past. And I think the staff and the board really took that on with zeal and have really taken the organization to the next level. When you look at the Georgia Partnership, we are the advocates for Georgia's children, and I see us as the leading research, advocacy, and policy research organization in Georgia dealing with issues of education from basically cradle to career. And we occupy a really, really important space to make sure that Georgia's education system is working for everybody. I think launching the blueprint, which is looking at the long-term strategy for Georgia in the public education sphere, is something that we can all look back and be proud of. I think that it's a very important initiative for us to set back, to kind of take a long strategic look at where we're headed as a state and making sure that we're on the right course and making any corrections that we think we need to make. And the Georgia Partnership is uniquely qualified, I think, to work on something like the blueprint, where you have to bring in lots of stakeholders, folks from the education community, from government, and from the private sector, to all work together to ensure that we can deliver the types of outcomes in education that we all want to see. I think the impact for the Georgia Partnership is tremendous. When you see legislators each year, they look forward to the 10 Issues to Watch publication. It really is one of those documents that they look for every single year to help guide their efforts in where we need to make changes to our education policy. And when you look also at some of the other programs that we do, the critical issues forums, which are always very well attended, and really home in on some of the most important issues around education, whether that be wellness and mental health, or perhaps it's about the Georgia Film Academy, like we're here today, talking about the film industry and how that's a great career path for kids and how do we get them into these high growth industries. These are the types of really high value added symposiums that the Georgia Partnership is just a critical part of, because we do a great job, I think, of convening stakeholders from various backgrounds. And that's what you really need when you're wrestling with tough issues, tough policy issues, thinking about the programs that our state needs. You need everybody at the table. And the Georgia Partnership has the trust of so many different types of stakeholders, whether you're in industry, education, nonprofit groups, government. Our board represents all of those sectors of our economy and all of those interests when it relates to education. So we're really uniquely positioned to do some of the convening work that needs to be done in our great state. When it comes to public education, we always need to be working on what are the right measurements and how do we move the needle. So the Georgia Partnership, being such a data-driven organization, and one that can really pull together the information that we need to really understand where we are as a state and where we want to go, is really important. And we have challenges in Georgia. We have changing demographics. We have more and more kids in poverty. We have more kids that are English learners. And all of those things create new challenges, or maybe even more emerging challenges for our state that we need to continue to focus on, that we continue to try to find solutions that can work for everybody in Georgia. I think the Georgia Partnership over the last several years has become more and more diverse. You look at all the stakeholders around the table. I challenge the organization to continue to solicit a diversity of opinions and a diversity of backgrounds for our board, to continue to be innovative in the type of programming and the types of policy initiatives that we drive forward, and more than anything else, to continue to be bold. That's something that we talked about a lot as a board with the staff starting about 5 years ago, and I hope that we continue to stay on that path of boldness, because great organizations come up with great ideas. And we're only going to be able to do that if we continue to be bold, we continue to lead the way, we continue to take some positions that may not be popular with everyone, but are the right positions for moving our state forward.